Hello, hello, and welcome. So, I want to welcome you all to this series. Some of you I know are joining for the very first time. So, we're going into the series on the five elements and touch, and how we can explore the different aspects of touch. Utilizing our connection to the five elements inside of our own bodies. So last week, we explored the element of earth. And as we talked about, earth is a very solid kind of element. As you know, the earth is quite solid, quite heavy, and it's got this very nurturing sort of grounding quality to it. And the touch that we do with the earth element is firmer, it's grounding, it's deep. It allows us to experience and build a sense of trust. So this is what we're doing with earth. So I'm curious to know how that was for you. And I invite you to make some comments in the comment thread here, if you like, or to connect with me through my website or through private messaging. I'd really love to know what kinds of things you found out. What did you discover? What opened up for you when you explored the element of earth in your own touch, or perhaps with a partner? So today we're going to talk about water. Water is a truly fascinating element. One of the things that characterizes water is that it's a flowing element. There is almost always the element of movement in the water element, whether the water is taking the form of an ocean, a river, a lake. It's got different degrees of stillness and movement. And like women, the same body of water, particularly if you're looking at the ocean, it can be very, very different from one day to another, from one moment to the next, depending on what else is going on, what else is in the atmosphere. So as women, we have these very deep, complex feelings, thoughts, emotions, and water is very, very much like that because it can take so many different forms and carry so many different kinds of energy. It can be very subtle sometimes, or it can be overwhelming and powerful. It's all however we want it, and however we experience it. So I'm wanting to get into that a little bit more in our session today, but want to explain a little bit about some of the benefits of working with the water element. So you can clear some fear, you can clear trauma around the area of sexuality, particularly around the area of fear of sexual expression. Perhaps there's been trauma in your life. Perhaps there's just other fears about being accepted, about being seen for who we truly are. There's a lot of fear associated with stepping out and really expressing what is real and true for you. So it can help us work with issues related to fear of rejection or abandonment, loneliness, disconnection from our sexual energy. It can help you to build your connection to your own sexual energy and to your own emotional life, and how these two things can be connected to one another. So you can bring increased levels of emotion and ecstasy and connection into all areas of your life, including your sexuality and your spirituality. So I want to talk a little bit more about water. So water is the element that is associated with life force energy, and specifically with the in Taoist or Chinese 5-element theory. It has to do with the organ of the kidneys, which actually is the organ that rules the nervous system, the blood, the bones, as well as the sexual reproductive systems that we have. So a lot going on there that we can connect to. Some of the qualities of water that are important to know is that peacefulness, gentleness, calmness, serenity, and wisdom are some of the predominant qualities that are associated with the actual virtues of the water element in Taoist 5-element theory. And the imbalanced expression of water tends to come out in the form of fear, and often is associated with trauma, which most of us have not managed to get through life without having, unfortunately. The element of water is also associated with the sexual chakra in Tantra Yoga theory and teachings. So this is the second chakra, is our sacral chakra. It's associated with sexuality, with intimacy, with connection and relationship, and also with creativity. So whatever, it plays a really strong role in whatever it is that we're wanting to do with our energy. So a lot of the artistic people that I know find that it really benefits a great deal when they tune into their water element and they open up the second chakra, the sexual energy chakra. So it doesn't have to do only with sexuality, but with creativity, contribution, and expression. When our 5 elements are in harmony, it brings the body, mind, emotions, and spirit into balance with each other. This allows us to function on all the levels that we do function on: physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, sexual, and others. That we can do that with balance, with harmony, and sustainability. That's really what it's all about. So sexual energy is very much like water. Although it's gentle and soothing at times, it can also be very powerful, very invigorating, very much awakening and enlivening. So water has the quality, the ability to do all of that, and can take, again, all of these forms depending on what kind of container you put water into. Again, whether it's a glass, whether it's the ocean, whether it's a lake, whether it comes out in the form of tears, even. Again, very much associated with our emotional bodies. So for many women, water is the element that really is most associated with the kind of emotionality and the kind of sexual energy flow that we engage in with ourselves and with our intimate partners. So let's talk for a minute. I also want to talk about the fact that water is associated with the season of winter, which is something that we're about to come into. And the winter itself has to do with a period of gathering, absorbing, resting, nurturing. And it's also has to do with the energy of conception. So this is a good time to conceive something that you're wanting to have in your life. Water is also associated with the sense organ of the ears. So sound is extremely important in love. Music has a lot to do with moving our emotions. It can move us sexually, it can move us energetically. This whole flowing sort of motion that comes with water can be brought to life in a really special way, in a unique way for you, depending on what you're wanting, what you're feeling, and what's inside of you at that moment, what's alive for you. Sound is also very, very important for building energy, for moving energy. It can be really helpful in transforming certain types of energy that we're feeling. When I work with women in my 6-month programs or individually, we learn how to use sound to move our energy, to clear old stuff that we no longer want or need. So sound and water, very, very extremely powerful forces that we can connect to in ourselves. So I want to explore with you now some of the types of touch that have to do with the water element. So I think of it as a very flowing kind of experience, very much about sensuality. These movements that we do can be very long, can be very slow, but also have the freedom to take their own direction. So they can be flowing, swirling. You can use your hand, your flat hand, with a light pressure on your body. You can also use your fingers. And it's kind of nice to go into the element of water touching because it can take any form that you want it to. You can actually allow it to take its own shape, its own form. It's flowing. It's gentle. You can also ramp up the energy there if you want to as well. You can make it more powerful. You can see where your emotions lead you. See where the feeling, the sense of touch, what kinds of emotions and feelings that leads you into. You can go off on a little trip, a little tangent, a little foray into whatever that emotion might happen to be. Sometimes our emotions take us to places and to experiences that have happened in the past, or that can even be uncomfortable, painful, traumatic. My advice when that happens is to go into that emotion and see what's there, but also knowing that using the power of water, that we can change the state that we're in terms of our consciousness. We can actually use sound and use water to move energy. I don't know how many of you have ever had a bath or a shower and found that being in that water changed your point of view completely. That's the power of what water has to offer. So I encourage you to explore that. One other thing I want to talk about is that in some of the Tantra yoga lineages that I have worked with, the water element is represented by the fourth finger or the ring finger. So I invite you to explore touching yourself, touching your body, even touching a partner, should you choose to do that, or invite your partner to touch you using their fourth finger, their ring finger. This can be especially nice. It's so gentle and smooth and flowing. It can be really nice for sexual kinds of touch as well. So you can start with this when you're exploring your vulva, your external genitalia. And it can be really nice to use this fourth finger for penetration of the yoni. Whether this is something you're doing for yourself or whether it's something that you're exploring with a partner. This fourth finger just seems to have a soothing, gentle quality to it that most women respond to really well. And from there, you can let it take whatever form, whatever tempo, whatever other energies and emotions are there for you. You have a beautiful vehicle in which to explore that. So I look forward to hearing from you about your experiences with water element touch. Feel free, of course, to leave comments in the comment section, or also you can reach out to me through private messaging or on my website, which is tantradoctor.com. If there was something in today's presentation that you want to explore more about, I also want to invite you to schedule your own complimentary 20-minute Sacred Sexual Vitality Breakthrough Session with me. Go to my website and you can actually schedule the time for us to look at what's real for you and what issues you might want to address, what changes you want to see happen in your sexual energy. So, thank you for spending this time with me today. It's always wonderful for me. I hope you have a beautiful day, and I look forward to seeing you next week. Blessings.